The Portland Symphony Orchestra recently released its lineup of shows for the 2026-2027 season.
The season kicks off in the fall, and music director Eckert Proy joined us following the announcement to preview those upcoming shows, including the show that starts it all, Resurgam, American Folktales and Hymns.
That's our opening night, and it started with the idea of celebrating the big anniversary this year, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. We wanted to celebrate American music, and so we have music that is like typically American, like Gershwin and Copeland, his Appalachian Spring, which includes Simple Gifts. But we wanted to have a particular focus on music from Maine because we actually have a couple of really great composers. For instance, John Knowles Payne was the first professor of music at Harvard University, and he's from Maine. He was also a student from Herman Kochmar, after whom the organ is named at Merrill Auditorium. There's Sapli Belcher, who is a great composer at his time. And we have a new piece by Travis Ramsey called Fire, which is inspired by the Great Fire of 1866, which wiped out big parts of the city. And this is a very emotional recounting of the events and especially of the spirit of the people of Portland for rebuilding, and it's just music is great in dealing with tragedy and making something really beautiful out of it. So that's what this is.
And the show will go great with all the other celebrations that are happening.
For our October classics, we welcome Alexandre da Costa, who is a Canadian violinist and conductor. Now, he is actually an award-winning violin virtuoso, but he also has an orchestra in Canada and in Mexico, and so he does something very special for us in Portland because he is going to do both. He's going to be our guest conductor and our guest violinist at the same time. So he's going to play the violin without a conductor, conducting from the violin. Now, that's old school. And so he's going to play a Mozart violin concerto, but also conducting the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 6, the Pathétique, which is his last symphony. And if you love kind of emotional music with big gestures, big romantic sound, then Tchaikovsky is for you.
Love it. And this is why we have you, because you're the expert here with all the names in music that's happening. So speaking of violins, you guys have a special guest violinist coming to perform in November. The show is Midori.
Midori is one of the great violinists of our time. When we celebrated our 100th anniversary, we had Yo-Yo Ma in town, and so Midori is kind of the violin equivalent to Yo-Yo Ma. And she's been around for a while. She actually had a very famous debut at 11 years old with the New York Philharmonic, and ever since she's been really on the top of the violin list, and she brings so much musicianship and technical prowess and humanity to her playing, and she's going to play music by Shostakovich, which is also incredibly emotional. So it's going to be a very, very special event.
And first time playing with Portland Symphony.
First time with us, yes.
Big deal. All right, and then of course we always have Magic of Christmas in December, always a big hit. And then looking ahead all the way to next April, we have La Mer. What is this? Tell us about this show.
So La Mer is one of the great tone poems ever, and is the greatest tone poem by a French composer, by Claude Debussy. It's called Impressionist music, and La Mer is basically the sea. And so there's these three tone poems about the sea, and it's very, very, very picturesque, and it's beautiful music. And on that program we have something very special too, and that is a violin concerto by a Syrian composer. His name is Malik Jandali, and what he does is he fuses Syrian and Middle Eastern rhythms and melodies that go way back, all the way to the Silk Road, with a kind of a romantic, big orchestra. And we have a wonderful soloist for that, Rachel Barton-Pine. It's going to be something very special, a very special sound world.
Love it. And another special show, which I think is probably going to be a big hit, is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi in concert. People have got to be looking forward to this show.
You cannot beat music by John Williams and Star Wars. So we've been actually doing Star Wars movies for the last couple years. The Empire Strikes Back this year, and so we want to follow up with the Return of the Jedi next year.
That was just a snapshot of what Portland Symphony Orchestra has coming up with the 2026-2027 season. We'll, of course, have a link to their full list of shows on our website and app.